Hello, I'm Oral Gibbes, and welcome to Oral Gibbes Live. We're streaming live on YouTube. And this program is made possible by the Windward Island Bank. The Windward Island Bank, the place for all your loans, mortgages, car loans, you name it. Windward Island Bank in three locations, Phillipsburg, Cul-de-Sac, and in Simpson Bay. And GEBE, your local water and electricity company, serving St. Martin for over 6 decades. GEBE for all your water and electricity needs. And with me this evening is a very interesting lady. It's Pamela Gordon. How are you doing?
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Gibbes. Thank you for the invite, and good afternoon to your followers as well.
Well, thank you for being here with us, and you're a leader of the USP.
Yes.
How long now?
As of November 2021.
Okay, good. So you're a very dynamic lady, because I know that you was at one time Minister of Visa.
Yes.
And you made a lot of things possible in a very short time.
Mm-hmm. That is true. He was interim minister of ASR in the year 2019-2020, waiting for elections. And then after that, in March the 27th of March, we left office. So the new coalition could take over.
But in that short period of time, you accomplished what others didn't do in years.
Yes, and it wasn't easy, but I believe where there is a will, there is a way. And sometimes you have to sail through some turbulences, Mr. Gibbes, in order for you to achieve what needs to be achieved, especially when it is for the good of the people, for the population. And when you see and you notice and you realize that certain things are not going accordingly, and it have too much of suffering or injustice taking place, and when you're on the outside looking in, you can talk and say many things.
Right.
But what for me was important is that when you reach to a certain position where you can make a change, the change has to happen. And you shouldn't take no as an answer, especially if you can see that the opportunity is there, that there are ways that it can be done. And you should sail and try to obtain those type of positive results where the masses can benefit from it. And that's what I did in my short period of time, which I already know. Remember, you're coming in as an interim, so you already know that your period of time is going to be a short period. So you try to achieve and accomplish as much as possible. And that's what I did. We had people in the cabinet, we had people in the departments, and you will notice that it have individuals that are for you. They understand the concept that you want to achieve. They understand the direction that you want to take. You will always get those that are for, those that are against. So you have to recognize those individuals as well in order for you to sail through a little bit smoother. And that is what I did. I selected those that have shown the willingness and wanting to see a change, because it have a lot of individuals, professionals in working in the government apparatus that are very frustrated with what is going on. They want to see change, but again, it's about who is at the mantle, who is guiding the ship. So when they get someone that is willing to make that change, they are willing to take that risk and be part. You have those that are very fearful, that don't want no type of repercussion, so they back off. You have those that they don't really care, they're just there for the money. Like everything else, like in every organization, you have those that are willing to push, that are hard workers. You have those that are honest people. You have those that wants to see the change for the people. You have different individuals that you have to deal with when you are in the government apparatus, just like any other organization.
But I think with you was not afraid of the challenge in taking on, especially the issue of labor.
No, because coming from a business sector, Mr. Gibbes, I know what are the suffering out there. Remember, I'm a business owner from the time I was 21 years old. I have been running my own business. So I know from an employer perspective, because as an accountant, you deal with businesses, you deal with the owners, you have to deal with the employees as well. So you deal with the two sides of the medal, right? A medal have two sides. So you deal with those issues coming from the employer side, coming from the employee side. And you can hear also the cry of the population based on what they are experiencing and different things like that. So when you go in, you're going in with a mind that you already know where the weaknesses are, where are the holes in the system that is being used. And you are more in tune into knowing what to look for and what not to look for, what to focus, what not to focus. And I know as an accountant and as a person of business that is very geared into, I'm a very socialist person, that I put things in balance, in perspective, in the sense of fair is fair, and justice has to be served where it can be served. You know, if you know that a business cannot run without the employees, you need to make sure that the employees are taken care of. Now, we know that on the system of St. Martin, we know that employees are the weakest party. That is the one that is suffering the most. So gearing towards that direction, what I did was going into the different laws that it have existing that is giving employers more like a leeway to continue doing or perpetrating injustice situation. So when looking into that, we had a very close team, a small team, I can count it on one hand, that really was into it and was looking into, you know, the different labor laws and things like that. And that's where we came with the Article 6, that as a minister, we have the right to give directions in how this article can be executed in order to, you know, try to close down the holes and minimize the abuse that is taking place towards employees. And I took that opportunity, and it had people that were, you know, like, okay, are we really going to take this step? Are we really going to do this? I say, yes, we're going to do it because this is what the people need. And to tell you the honest truth, Mr. Gibbes, it have more articles that we were working on that would benefit the people, the employees, the masses. And well, we did not get a chance to, you know, pass those, because those are policies that would have come as a complete package. But in order, seeing the time that it was a short time, and when you realize what is happening out there in the market, and the different layers that you have to cross, the different stumbling blocks that you will come to encounter, for me it was important that we pass this law, this policy, in order to try to minimize the abuse that is happening on Country St. Martin, which after that I realized that many people understood after what it was that I was trying to achieve with it. Because in the beginning there wasn't understanding. But after the fact, they come to realize that it was something beneficial for the country of St. Martin, for the people of St. Martin. The abuse on the labor market is actually has gone out of hand. If you realize that you have a lot of people, a lot of individuals that are not getting the opportunity, or those that are working are not being treated with respect, I would say, or fairly. So it have different scenarios when it comes also to vacancies and getting the opportunity in being labored, getting the chance to be selected. The entire process, the system itself is very cumbersome, and it's very, I would say, not in favor of our people. So to that extent, we have come with a policy which was named after me afterwards, the Pamela policy, and which is being executed And I think that more and more people, it's a policy. So basically, people need to know that they have to be in compliance with it. The other thing is that I find that we or let me say the government as the highest entity of a country is not supposed to have negotiations with an employer when it comes to providing work to the people of the country. You should, that should supposed to be something that is done automatically, that the people comes first. You choose the country to do business on. We provide you with a list of the licenses, the requirements, and the different things that you have to be in compliance with as a business. Yeah. But one of them have to be that, hey, the laws are that our people have to come first. And if there is no opportunity for that, then you can always come back to the government and then have that conversation with proofs stating that you did not get those people. You have as well, Mr. Gibbes, which I have identified, and during my time as my tenure as a minister of VSR, is that people invent a lot of names for the function. You know, different names to make it sound as if it's something very complicated. And I delve in deeper into it to look what does the name entails, you know, and the names most of the times entail maybe just an assistant or something, a name that already exists, you know. So it have different tricks that you have to look into. And because of the fact that we know that those tricks were being used, yeah, that's the reason why that the Pamela policy was introduced.
All right. In case you just joined us, you're watching Oral Gibbes Live. My guest in the program is leader of the USP party, Ms. Pamela Gordon. And you know, when she walked in here, she said, "What's it about the green background?" So I said, she laughed. What's the color of your party?
Blue.
Right. So the thing is that this is going to be a virtual room, actually, and there are two colors for chroma key. Yes. Blue and green.
Okay.
And we selected green because it's a color that's less common than blue in that sense. Mm-hmm. If you had blue, when they do go over the chroma key, then they won't see you because you won't be able to wear anything that's blue.
That's blue.
So now you will come and wear anything except the green, and then we will chroma key another background onto that. But we haven't gotten there yet. That's the reason why, right? Okay. Just want to clarify that. You at home or wherever you are, what's it? Why you got green? Supporting? No, I'm not supporting the green.
I mean, I love the color green, don't get me wrong, but it was so overpowering, so.
Yeah, it's a special chroma key that you brought in and did the whole thing.
Maybe you should have chosen one wall blue at least.
We'll think about that. So now that you're a leader of the USP, you took over at a very critical time in the history of the party. Yes,
at a very critical time, Mr. Gibbes, and as much as people sometimes do not understand certain steps that people take, it's good to explain sometimes, you know, because you have to remember that a party is an organization that is basically formed with the intention to execute plans that is beneficial for the country. So when you're moving forward and you're going into something that you want to have your best men or your best women on board, you need to realize that there's a time that maybe, okay, I see someone that is more capable, or someone that has great ideas, or someone that has that fortitude. It can have different reasons, you know, why you can choose to, hey, you know what? This person has the strength and the fortitude. I have reached that point where I am really tired, or, you know, I want to take a different direction. Good ideas, new ideas, let's pass the mantle over and see how this person can push the country in the direction that it has to go. Because we have to realize, Mr. Gibbes, that the country right about now is in a very, very delicate situation. As much as people maybe do not want to voice it, as much it is in a very delicate situation, that we need people to that can take the different aspects and scenarios into account in order for you to guide the country in the direction that it needs to go. And it takes people that are individuals, professionals on all the layers of the society. It doesn't take only doctoranders and masters and PhD. No, it takes all of us on all the layers that can contribute into pushing the country in the direction that it needs to go. Because the country right now is in a, I wouldn't know the right word, they call it a dull. A slope. It's in a slope position right now. So when you check the different pillars within the economy right about now, you see that we have a lot of things that we have to take into account, that we have to analyze, and that we have to bring changes to in order for us to move the country in the right direction. Now, before moving the country in a direction, because everybody is saying that USP want to go independence, listen, independence is a process. Independence is not from today to tomorrow. Independence is a goal. So in order for us to achieve the goal of independence, we are going to do step by step on the different layers to achieve that. Before a country becomes independent, you have to make sure that the country is able to feed their people first on their own. That's one thing. So as the economy is right about now, that is not possible. That has been proven already with the time. It has been proven. Also, you need to have the right people in the right place, because managing a country is important. You need to know, you need to take different aspects, different scenarios. You have to take different decisions at different times. So in order for you to keep things in balance, for it to run smoothly, sometimes you have to make decisions that are unpopular, you know, and so it takes a broad scale. You have to look things from a broader scale in order for you to run an entire country. It's not something that happens from today to tomorrow. It's a team that you have to put in place. You have to put in place people that are capable in taking that stance as well, because we know that country St. Martin is a country where everybody knows everybody. People are afraid of backlash. People are afraid of repercussion. People are afraid. People like the friend thing. I know you, so you can do that. You don't do it. You know, so it have different things that you have to take into account. But at the end of the day, the goal is that you have to run a country in a way that the masses benefits from it, not in a way that the masses is the one that is always suffering, and yet at the end of the day, you want the masses to be the one to put in money to continue running the country. There should be a balance in your way of managing the country, in your way of taking and making decisions, in your way of how you are basically executing certain things, because actions speak louder than words. And if I see the different actions that are taking place right now, I would say there are a certain sequence of things that are missing before that take place. Control is something that have to take place. Yes, definitely reinforcement of the laws have to take place. But what about those that are there already that are not, how you say, that you know that are not in compliance with the law? What are we basically doing? Are we basically executing the fines? Are we basically executing and reinforcing the different existing laws already? Are we planning to to reinforce the laws with policies. What is it that we are planning to do? There is a certain sequence of things, how they have to take place before going to the executional part. So for me, in the party, I like to have things like organized. The party as well, the board is persons, is individuals, professionals, business owners that they have a view as well of that is in tune with me being the leader, which is we need to have things in a structured manner, in an organized manner. So we do things in sequence. We have different plans for different scenarios of the country that we are looking into, and what have to come first and then what comes after. So we don't do things just, you know, haphazardly as we go along. No, it has to have a certain sequence of events in order for the population to understand where we are going and where we are taking the country. So we have different committees that are dealing with different things that is going on Country St. Martin. Of course, we're not going to, you know, publicly state what are these solutions and things, but at the end of the day, we are working on those, and when the time presents itself, we will have solution that not only will benefit a selective few, but for us it's important that whenever a plan is executed, that it benefits the masses. Now, in certain things, of course, certain decisions, of course, it will only benefit a particular type of sector. It all depends what topic you are discussing or what it is you want to achieve. But overall, decisions and solutions that are being put on paper, which we have and which we are analyzing with different professionals in the different areas, it will benefit the masses, not only a selective few. So that's what we are busy with right about now as a party that is going towards election 2024. We are preparing for that in a very serious way. We are looking into the different bottlenecks that the country is facing right about now. As you can see, many articles of us are coming out where we are stating things that we are not in agreement with, because again, as a party, you need to let the people know what you are in agreement with, what you're not. So your followers knows what direction and what the party stands for. And overall, what the party stands for is that we are for the people, with the people. So anything that doesn't benefit us, the masses, we are going to look into solutions that can better suit the population as a whole.
All right, I'll tell you what, I have to go to a quick break, and we come back, we're going to continue speaking, all right?
Sure.
We're here speaking with the leader of the USP party. This is Pamela, Gordon-Carty, and we're going to continue right after this.
In order to know what you want out of life, you need to observe, listen, and try it yourself. Promises, we can make it if we work together. That's just how it is. Let's stand strong, and serve the land. Working hard as one nation, yes we can. The more difficult it is to achieve, the more satisfying it is to make it. Just believe in us, we'll see you through it all. Oh, never give up. Oh, never give up. We can make it. Never forget those who were there for you. And if you dream big, you might just achieve it. The power to serve, standing for community. Oh, GEB, got the power to serve, the power to serve. We got the energy. Oh, GEB.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-log.
My guest on the Oral Gibbes Live this evening is leader of the USP party, Ms. Pamela Gordon-Carty. She's my guest, and we're here to speak with her about the party. Now, you said earlier that people are saying that your party is looking to take somebody into political independence, but is that one of the main platforms of the party?
No.
Do you have a time frame for that?
No. The party stands for, one, diversification of the economy. We are working on an entire plan, Mr. Gibbes, because, like I said, independence is the end goal. Before reaching independence, there are many things that has to be, the platform, the infrastructure of the country has to be in place in order for you to, go into that. So, like for instance, if you know that you want to go independent and you want the country to be self-reliant, you want to be able to feed your people in any occasion, you want to maximize the influx of economical resources, income into the coffers of Country St. Martin, there are many pillars that we have to deal with. Country St. Martin right about now is a one-pillar economy, which is tourism. But we have to remember, everybody talking about diversification, but diversification, you need to have the infrastructure for it. You have to set it in place. And one that is a very easy one, that is not much is needed for it, is the farming, the agriculture that I always mention and talking about is, that last year you had interviewed me about it, and I was telling you about it and the projects that we have in place. And it's just marvelous because we have land. And the many problems that we are facing right about now, one of the solutions will be the agriculture. The agriculture is, one, it will cater towards the entire population. It will cater towards our business people. It will cater towards the social development of the country. It will also cater and assist the health of the population as well, because you're making people more, to be more health awareness. So it has so many other things that are problems right about now, that agriculture, by introducing it, it will assist and help and remediate a lot of these problems that we are facing with. So, and I'm noticing that when you look at certain policies, because people can start to say, yes, but Country St. Martin don't have no land. Yes, Country St. Martin have land. If you see, we have the everybody talking about this hill policy. Exactly, that is disturbing them from building. That same hill policy, we have to use it to our benefit. And that's where the farming comes in, because we have a lot of hills that we can use farming. When you see other countries, Mr. Gibbes, you see that people do farming in hills. We have right here in St. Peter's that people use the hills to do farming.
For many years.
For many years, for generations. They grew up on that. Right. They went to university because of the farming.
But St. Peter's was like the breadbasket of St. Martin in terms of agriculture at the time.
So what happened? And these are the things that I just say that we are making sometimes a thunder, a storm in a cup, in a glass of water. Solutions are right there in front of our face, and we are searching for solution in the back of the glass of water that is placed right in front of us. You understand? But like that, we have many other solutions for many other problems that we are facing right about now, Mr. Gibbes. I know that you are aware that I wrote a book with the financial plan, which I give some basic tips about how to go about different things that is happening, what needs to happen also in order for us to start making the country a better place financially, you know. So I wrote an article I think it was 2 weeks ago, about let's start auditing our government-owned companies. Let's start auditing all of them in order for us to determine what is the real financial status of each of these companies. Because it is important, especially if you're dealing with budget, you're dealing with the critical financial situation of a country. You need to know where the country stands. And sometimes people do not want to go into that because they say you're taking out a lot of eggs coming out, you know?
Well, that's why I was thinking just a while ago, as you were saying that, you don't sound like a typical politician.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, the typical politicians stay very far away from that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're speaking about improving people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at things from business perspective.
Yeah.
Politicians don't do that.
I think the country right about now do not need politicians, Mr. Gibbes. If that's what you call a politician, then that's not what the country needs right about now. The country needs people, and it's not only me, it needs people like me that are more neutral, that are willing to push the country in the direction that it has to go, and that is willing to put that extra effort, provide that expertise. Because again, I have encountered other people, professionals as well, and they say, but you crazy, you're writing a book, giving the government ideas, you doing that, me ain't gonna do that. But again, I am of the opinion that you're seeing them like in circles, like don't know what it is needs to be done, but you can see exactly where it is you need to tackle in order for you to move the country in a certain direction. So let's just deal with the issues that we have to deal with, and let's move on. Because if from 10 we are bawling that certain things were supposed to happen, many of the politicians that are there balling now, they were there from since 10. So you're telling me that in 11 years you couldn't have done what was supposed to be done? Then something is definitely wrong. So let's start doing what we need to do. Everybody have to realize that I think 11 years is enough for everybody that wanted to benefit from the country, benefited from it already. So now that the country is dry,
the politicians probably, most than the average person.
Whoever, all the politicians or all those that benefited by being in certain positions where they did what normally you should have not done, all those that benefited from it, I think 11 years is more than enough. So the country now is in a situation where it needs to revitalize itself. It needs healing. Give the country the chance to heal.
But people say that there's a whole group of new young leaders, like the Minister of Roaming. He had the most votes in the last parliamentary election here in St. Martin. And many people said he should have been Prime Minister, but because he was just, 27 years old, another person took the Prime Ministership. So, and you can see the Minister of Finance, also a very young person, and you can go on and on. There's many, it's like a whole new breed of young politicians.
So what are you saying? What I can say to that statement, or the point you want to bring across, Mr. Oral Gibbes, is there is something called common sense, there is something called knowledge and experience. They goes together. Yes, we want people that are young and dynamic, that can think outside of the box, because sometimes you need that change in order to get things moving. But you don't do things just like that haphazardly. Yeah. There is a plan, a thought-of process that have to take place before you do anything. And sometimes, because of the age, the age bracket, the age category, you find that sometimes they do not think things through to the end. Not that I'm criticizing the younger generation, because they have both sides, they have the good and the bad, just like the older generation have the good and the bad. Because the older generation, we can say also, they are very crooked. They're doing things their own way. They don't want to,
change, huh?
Exactly. They don't want to, change. They don't like the change. So both categories have the thing. But my thing is, the focus should remain the country at all times. Whatever bracket you are in, the focus should remain the country should benefit from it. Not you, not a selective group, not the one that you're, no. It has to benefit the country. And the other thing is, like you mentioned Minister of Romy, he is doing some good things, because when I drive around, I can see some changes that falls under his ministry. Not because he's from a different party, I'm going to sit here and say, he ain't doing nothing good and things like that. When I have to say something is right, I'm going to say it. When I say something is wrong, I'm going to say it, because that's what I believe. So certain things, certain projects and plans that they have, like for the Heights, the Vineyard Heights, I have my own opinion on it, because I believe that you have to do certain things first before reaching there. There is where you're going to be investing money and certain things like that. I think other things can be done first before reaching to that. But on the other end, when it comes to cleaning up and different districts, I am seeing changes. So I know that he is busy.
Have you thought about maybe trying to get him onto the party with you?
I'm sorry?
Any plans to have him jump ship and join your party?
Well,
whether you have similar social ideas?
Yes. Well, I mean to say, look, the USP party stands for the people, with the people, by the people, for the people. So if you have someone that is willing and that the loyalty can be towards that stance, I do not see, Mr. Gibbes, why that possibility shouldn't be there. But then the other thing, what is important is the loyalty towards achieving things for the country. That is important. Nowadays, you have to be very careful when you put in candidates on top of the list, because sometimes they present something, but afterwards maybe they have their own agenda, and then things change along the way. Of course, you cannot see all of those things in advance, because sometimes people want to be in that type of position, or in that type of in that type of position, in order for when election come, if the opportunity presents itself, they have a better chance. But you have to remember, when you go in with, for instance, X amount that is pertaining and belonging to you. You have to remember, when you come out, is that X amount is what you're coming out with. You're not coming in with X amount and expecting to come out with XYZ, because, hey, I have this plan here, I'm going to do this, no, that's not the intention. And that's why, for me and for the party, it is very important that when we put people on the list, that are people that, one, they have achieved things in life, because then they know the importance of fighting for something. They know the importance of they can withstand the different hurdles that you're going to be passing through, the different stumbling blocks that you will encounter as well, when you're going the opposite way than what others want you to go. Because you have to remember that you will find those that will fight against the system, because they want the system to remain the same so they can benefit from it. So they will use all sorts of avenues in order for them to put that stumbling block for you not to achieve that change. So it have different things, different layers that you have to look into. But when you're going into a party, you have to remember, these are my assets. This is what I have achieved. I going in with this, and I coming out with that. What you're coming out more rich in is knowledge and experience. And that's how I dealt with it in my tenure, during my tenure. You come in with X, stay focused on the goal. The goal is you are in a position where you can make change for the people. Let's try and get that change to be accomplished and executed. That's why it's called the executional branch. You execute things. And you have the legislative branch that basically they're supposed to be legislating, which is not happening right now. It's very limited that legislation is taking place. Like, for instance, now...
it's been like that for the past 12 years.
I have a few laws, we have a few policies, we have laws already in place, and we are going to have our MP present it on the floor of Parliament. You know, it have different things that I know that have been there for a while. No laws has been changed, and it's time for us to start doing what we have to do. You know, so I'm happy that we have the MP there, even though you're hearing a lot of things around the MP, you know, as usual. But at the end of the day, I'm staying focused, Mr. Gibbes, and USP has one representation right now in Parliament, and we're going to try to work together with the MP, which we have a very close relationship in the sense of having constant communication with him.
Well, let me say this, Scotty Gordon. I don't like to bring up what people are saying, but there's a big public secret on the island.
Yeah.
That the MP that you're referring to is actually supporting another party in the coalition government.
Yes. What we can say about that, I had a straight conversation with him. Me and the president and the board, we had a conversation with him in regards to the rumors. So his straight and honest answer to that was that he is just friend because he was friends already with the other party that you are referring to. He was already friends with them. So nobody can really, you can't take away that.
Friends are friends.
Friends are friends. So, but to that extent, our point is that as a party, we have to stick together. As long as we see that he is not stepping out of the party's stance, what we want to represent for the country, for our people, then for us, it's okay. There's another thing that I want to mention when it comes to that, is that sometimes you have to give people the benefit of the doubt, and you have to give the person and the individual the opportunity as well to prove the contrary, you know? So, yes, we know the rumors are there, and we are just having the conversation with our NP, and so far it's showing that we are in the same direction. We are going towards the same direction for the people, with the people. So there is no reason for us to like start off something without no reason. When the opportunity or when the occasion presents itself that something becoming very clear to us that, hey, you are moving in a different direction than the party wants, then yes, we will have to call in and the MP, and then we will have that conversation and say, okay, is your stance this stance, or is your stance with the party? You know, because at the end of the day, you are representing a party, and whatever you vote for on the floor of Parliament have to represent what the party stands for. Now, if one time to time you vote contrary and you give an explanation, hey, because I just came in, I didn't have too much information, I didn't have too much time, then we can understand it because it's a human factor. But it should not become a trend. So to that extent, I would say give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and give them chance to prove themselves than what others are saying out there.
You know, they're saying this is the longest government since 10, and the parties bent on the coalition government want to remain there for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a lot of talk all over the island that it's not going to last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
What if things change within the next few weeks or months? Are you all ready to go?
We are always ready. I think the different points of importance that is ongoing on the country of St. Martin right now, we are targeting it. We have backup plans for them already, which are the main pillars of the economy and the ongoing issues that is happening right now in country St. Martin. On the other end, we have a short-term plan and you have a long-term plan. So on the short-term plan, we always are prepared to move in if the time permits and it happens. So happens that we are prepared to answer and to bring practical solutions to existing problems and in an effective manner. And on the long term, we are more geared towards looking at more long-term, effective solutions for the country of St. Martin itself that will take more intricate decisions and more type of thinking and, problem solving and things like that. So we are prepared for both situations. At the end of the day, you don't want something to prolong if it's not going in the right direction. You would want it to finish as fast as possible, because the longer it takes, it brings the country in more in a more delicate situation. So you want to avoid having to, take too much time for you to recuperate what was lost. So in both situations, we will be prepared. We are prepared for it, as we have short-term and long-term plans, practical plans, and solutions that effectively can be executed once the people then gave us that mandate. We are ready. I feel that we are ready. We have a good team. So far, we are basically working on the candidates as well. And we are handpicking our candidates because, again, like I said, Mr. Gibbes, it's not about, I know politics is about the numbers. Everybody's telling me, yeah, but put this one on the list because no, it's too much about the same, and I'm running as a leader of the USP, my mindset is totally different. It's about time that the country get people that are really willing to achieve what the country needs to achieve. It's not about the individual or the family of the individual. It's about all of us. It's about our children. It's about the next generation, that they can live a dignified life, that they are in the position and that they have their rights in their own country. It's not fair that the next generation, my children or their children coming up, and they have to be, they are second class in their own country. That's not fair. So I do not believe in that. I know that politics is about numbers, is about which last name is on top of the list, who knows this better. It's about popularity. But I do believe that individuals that will forming part of the USP list are people that are willing to take that stance and willing to push and go through the hurdles and the turbulence, but for us to achieve as a country.
It's good that you feel like that. You said earlier about auditing government companies.
Mm-hmm.
I have been very critical over the years of certain government companies for the way they function.
Yes.
But I also like to give credit where credit is due.
Mm-hmm.
And this program right now as being live stream, I'm looking at the upload stream, and it's very stable, very good. I'm surprised.
Okay.
I really have to give it to Tim on this one. The fiber is beautiful. I just hope it stays like this. This is what we needed for many, many years. I only wish that every home in St. Martin can have fiber, because this is beautiful. The speed, upload, incredible.
Yeah.
So oftentimes we are critical, and I think in this case I really have to give them credit for that. What I also want to give them credit for is their online payment setup. When you make a payment online, you get an email the following day confirming that you made that payment. I just wish that the tax office and others would follow in that. So here you have them that always get a beating from me, and now they're getting 5 stars tonight.
Well, that's good. And that's the thing, what we have to reach to that point, Mr. Gibbes, where even though we might not be in agreement on everything, on every level, but that we can have this type of conversations, and you can give your opinion and I can not be in agreement with it and walk out of here, and when I see you tomorrow, we just greet each other. But on Country St. Martin, that's why people are very careful on what they are saying, how they voice their opinion and things like that. The auditing of a company is something that the country needs. The country needs to know what is this position of these companies, because it's the population. The population that's their right, so they need to know. On the other end, you have that we need to know, like for instance, not only about the financial situation. Another point that I wanted to come across with, we start with one cycle, but we don't end the entire cycle, right? Like for instance, you're seeing in the newspaper vacancies that are being placed and that they are looking for people. But I would like to see on the other end as well, when the cycle is concluded, not the name of the person that got the vacancy, but I would like to see, was this vacancy achieved to be filled in through work permit or by someone that actually applied, because then you get a view of, if it's a work permit, that means to say you are stating that we don't have people on the island that could have, execute the job. So I would like to see that cycle as well, because it's nice to see the vacancies being placed, but I would like to see as well, we don't need the name, the date of birth, none of those things. We just want a column next to it. Hey, these are the vacancies that were placed in the newspaper for the month of January, and it was filled in through work permit or somebody that applied. Just that is what we need, because then the population can have a feeling as well that indeed they are being considered for the different positions, because now it's just up in the air. Everybody knows that vacancies have to be placed. So are they really in compliance or applying and reinforcing the Pamela law? Is it really happening? So we want to see some sort of results as well.
Yeah.
So the cycle in everything has to be finalized, not just show one part of it and the other part is it stays in the dark.
Well, I hope we can have you back sometime in the future when we have the radio station section, which is over there, because then we can continue speak with you about the Pamela law also.
Mm-hmm.
That I think is very important.
Yep.
This island is at a very critical stage right now,
Mm-hmm.
and too often our people are overlooked. It's been going on for so long now. I think we have to get beyond that.
Yes.
And the other day I was speaking to a guy, he said, look, he's not from St. Martin. His parents are from here. He's been in St. Martin for 25 years in Aruba.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, people make you feel like you're a foreigner
Mm-hmm.
in your own land.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be.
That is true. That is true. And I from St. Martin, from both sides of the family, from my mother's side and father's side. Like I said, from mother's side, I'm the Flanders, and from my father's side, the Cartys is related to the Jacobs, to the Websters, so all of us are related right there from Colby, from Well Road. And that's why when you see certain things happening, like like the taxes, that they constantly want to bring up these taxes. It's always a tax thing that wants to be implemented. Mm-hmm. I just say the focus is on the wrong thing. And when you do not have a plan in place where you can see all the layers, you can pinpoint exactly what it is you have to do. When you do not have a plan, you tend to have the tendency to take the easiest way out, which is taxes. But it has so many other things that we can do that, of course, I'm not going to go into that publicly because it's giving away what it is USP have planned.
Right.
Exactly. But there are so many ways, Mr. Gibbes, that we can implement and that are effective and that will bring this country in a way better position instead of just bringing in these taxes. There are other ways.
Another time, I just want to say I'm so impressed with you. I've always been impressed with you. From the first time I had you on the program, I think you are a very dynamic person. You're not afraid to give your opinion, whether it's popular or not. And I just want to congratulate you as leader of the USP and hope we can have you back again sometime very soon. So 40 seconds, anything you want to say in closing?
Well, I want to say, Mr. Gibbes, thanks again for having me in your studio. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, and for giving me the opportunity to speak out my mind and to be myself and to direct myself to the people without having to hold back anything. And but of course, I would like the people of St. Martin to know that USP is here to stay. And we are working on different plans and solutions, effective solutions that can be executed. And if given the opportunity, when given the opportunity to man the mandate to run the country, we will do our utmost in order for the population, the masses, to benefit from it. And in that aspect, I'm talking about the employer and the employee. So the population on a whole. The elderly as well have our attention, and the youth is one of my key posts that I'm paying very much attention on.
All right, well, so thank you again for coming and wish you much success. See you next time, all right?
Thank you, Mr. Gibbes.
That's it for now. See you next time. Until then, good night, take care, bye.